When the beat drops, you know exactly what time it is. Hello and welcome to this Week 18 version of the Blitz. Rocking with me, as always, in the backfield, David Schiele. And David, we got another hat and T-shirt game today.
Yeah, another one. Hopefully they take it seriously this time, because next week, either we are going to be previewing a home playoff game or we're going to be summarizing a wild up-and-down season for Tampa Bay post-Tom Brady. You know what? We got plenty to break down. Let's just get into it, Evan. We got a lot to talk about.
Let's just do it. You're not messing around.
Not messing around.
Neither these guys. This is the 10 and 10, the 10 most important storylines you need to know before the most important game of the season between Carolina and Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock. Look at the Panthers. They are not good. They have 2 wins this season. Their bags are packed. Vacation's right around the corner, but it is a divisional game. And Carolina gave the Bucs some issues in the first meeting, with Tampa Bay winning at home 21-18. Mike Evans tallied north of 160 yards and a tutty. Carolina rushed for 133 yards. But I will say, Ryan Neal and J.J. Russell, they were the linebackers in that contest. That victory against the Panthers in Week 13 was the start of a beautiful 4-game winning streak. It gave them some cushion to suffer that loss to the Saints last week. But there is no cushion now.
At all.
Win, and the Bucs are in. Lose, and the season is over. And you can kiss that NFC South division. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and head coach Todd Bowles and many of his staff members have been in this position before. In his first year with the Jets, New York had to beat the Bills in Buffalo to advance to the postseason. Well, they lost to that 7-8 Bills squad, so hopefully that experience helps nearly a decade later. At number 9, a team with nothing to lose is dangerous, because this Carolina team, they will be willing to take more risks, call some trick plays that they haven't used all season, and most importantly, a lot of these players on the field for the Panthers are competing for jobs next season. So a new staff is going to come in, and the number one message reiterated in the Bucs locker room is, if you don't want a new staff coming in for you, you cannot take the home squad for granted.
You got to earn everything. Like I told them, nobody's going to give you anything. You earn everything you get in this league, and whether you're the best of teams or the worst of teams, you're going to earn everything you get every week.
Yeah. We just got to come out with some juice, with some energy. So I'm pretty sure everybody going to say something, like literally everybody, no matter who you are on the team.
It's for all the marbles, literally. So, if you can't get hyped up for that, then something's wrong with you. It's easy enough getting hyped up for a regular football game. So, if you can't get hyped up for something like this, then you shouldn't be here.
For a 2-win team, it's crazy to see some of these defensive statistics. Carolina ranks 3rd in yards given up per game, 7th in passing yards per attempt, and 11th in rushing yards per carry. That's pretty good. The biggest issue with this unit is they don't force any turnovers, only 11 the entire season, Evan.
Yeah, the Bucs hit more than a third of that number last week against the Saints, turning it over 4 times. Cannot give away any freebies, especially Baker Mayfield, who at number 8 is banged up after taking this gnarly hit at the end of that 23-13 loss last week. So not only are the Bucs going up against a great defense, their signal caller has some messed up ribs. Mayfield reiterated this week there is no structural damage to worry about, and there's just too much on the line for him to not suit up, especially that $1 million he makes for leading Tampa Bay to the postseason.
I'll do everything I can to be out there, that's for sure. Division on the line, playoff hopes on the line, going back to Carolina, yeah, I'll do everything I can.
Someone who has never missed a game in his career is James Yarko of the Locked On Bucs podcast for our burning question of the week. And at number 7, James, I want to ask you this. How much is on the line today for Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield? Is it a win and stay in town sort of game for them, lose and go somewhere else, or is there more to it?
I do think there is a world where one stays and one goes, but it's kind of a weird situation, right? Let's start with Todd Bowles. Bowles, if they lose to the Panthers, is most certainly on the hot seat. But I think there is a scenario where they beat the Panthers and then Todd Bowles still loses his job. The problem with that is you bring in a new head coach. That's going to replace Dave Canales as the offensive coordinator, because the new head coach is going to bring in his own staff. And then they are going to want their own quarterback. This is where there's a world that exists where Baker can stay, but Todd Bowles goes. If the new head coach and his offensive coordinator like what they saw out of Baker Mayfield this year, like the chemistry and the rapport that he has built with this roster, there is a possibility that they bring him back. It's really wild to think about how this game and a potential playoff game can impact these two guys in so many different ways, where both could stay, both could go. Bowles and Baker, or Bowles could stay and Baker leaves, or Bowles could leave and Baker stays. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out.
At number 6, let's talk about a man who has gotten 6 13 times this season, Mike Evans. He is off to his 5th Pro Bowl after an amazing year at 30 years old. Entering a contract year, many thought he would begin to decline, but all he's done is lead the league in scores and rack up north of 1,200 receiving yards. We just heard about the futures of Bowles and Baker, but Mike Evans is someone we don't know the future of either. Now, surprisingly, Mike Evans, only Pro Bowler for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the team has 4 alternates. Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tristan Wirfs, they're first teamers. Baker Mayfield, a 3rd-team alternate. Vita Vea, a 5th-team alternate.
No Rashad White, no Levante David as alternates. That's just disrespectful, but that doesn't snip the problems we see leaving this man out of Orlando. Are you kidding me?
He is Timothy. How can you do that? Seriously, Mike Evans called it one of the most notable snubs he has seen in his career. He has 117 tackles. Only 2 DBs have more than him this year. He has 12 passes defended. Only 1 safety has more than him this year. He has 5 sacks, 7 takeaways, 5 forced fumbles. That kind of stat line has only been done 3 other times since 2000. I'll take it a step further. No DB in this millennium has at least 5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles other than Antoine Winfield Jr. this year. You know who made it over him? Buda Baker of Arizona, who has as many sacks, forced fumbles, and takeaways as me. Antoine Winfield Sr. is salty, and deservedly so. There is zero logical or statistical reasoning for this snub, and it's going to look even worse when Antoine Winfield Jr. receives an All-Pro nod, David.
Yeah, it's a real head-scratcher. There's no debate with this one at number 4. Shaq Barrett was nominated for the prestigious Ed Block Courage Award. Each team gets a nominee. Not only did Barrett overcome an Achilles injury, but he's been playing with a heavy heart all season, as his 2-year-old daughter, Araya, died in a drowning accident last April. Barrett says he is grateful for the recognition.
That was cool to be recognized for just battling through this injury, coming back from the injury. I'm pretty sure there's more focus on the injury, but just for everything that happened this past year. But I just appreciate just being recognized, like, for just having the courage to just keep working, keep battling.
So well-deserved. He will be back on the field today. And at number 3, this defense has no excuses. Panthers wideout Jonathan Mingo will not play, meaning Carolina only has 1 player with north of 500 yards suiting up. That's Adam Thielen. Carolina is one of the worst offensive units in the league, ranking in the bottom 5 of most statistical categories. But I do want to mention the Bucs defense against the tight end position. Does this team really need to worry about a guy like Tommy Tremble? Well, possibly, because in 3 of Tampa Bay's last 4 games, tight ends have totaled 30 catches for nearly 330 yards with 3 touchdowns in all of these matchups. They were targeted 15 times. Seems to be a real blind spot for the team right now, Evan.
Yeah, I have another blind spot to talk about because in number 2, the rushing game has taken a step backwards. They've gone from 99 yards to 70 yards to 56 yards in 3 straight weeks. We thought Dave Canales had figured out this in November, December, but we seem to be watching a similar product to what we saw at the beginning of the year. Rashad White needs 85 yards to become the first Bucs player to reach 1,000 since Doug Martin in 2015. But I don't want to focus on White and the rushing game. I want to focus on White and the passing game. He has 66 targets this season. He's caught 60 of those passes. He's electric in open space, and I think Dave Canales can do more with him. I want to show you a couple of plays here. This is going to be a quick throw to Cade Otton. It's almost picked off. But look at Rashad White. He is one-on-one with a linebacker. That is a matchup I want every single time. See, he's almost picked off here, but this is actually a good play design. The defense is all flowing this way. Rashad White flowing in the opposite direction. I mean, that's a lot of open green grass for him if they design the play for him. Here's another play, and I want to say this. When you have Mike Evans one-on-one deep, you're going to throw it to Mike Evans. So I really have no problem with the throw. I don't know what really happened there, but let's go look at Rashad White on this play. Chips. Everyone forgets about him. And hello, you see me? Do you see me down here? There's a clean 25 yards of space for this man. So again, it's not necessarily the throw that's the problem. It's that we just need a few more plays designed specifically for Rashad White, David.
Yeah, I believe you're absolutely right. At number 1, the Panthers fans might be rooting more against their owner than the Buccaneers today. Owner David Tepper continues to step into issues leading that franchise. Besides the fact that he changes head coaches like I change shirts, last week in Jacksonville, he was caught throwing a drink at fans.
Can't do that.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, Tepper was fined $300,000 by the NFL for his actions. Now, to you and me, that's a lot of money. For a man who has a net worth of $20.6 billion, it is not. It's like finding an average American $1.77. The man didn't even apologize in a statement. Nope. He just said he regrets his actions and he should have let the stadium security handle the issue.
The Panthers might be the worst-run franchise in the NFL, which leaves them in limbo for a handful of years coming up, and I'm sure Bucs fans will not complain about that.
They're cool with that. They're cool with that. Keep losing. All right, let's show you the games on 10 Tampa Bay today. We got a doubleheader for you at 1 o'clock. We have the other marquee NFC South game between the Falcons and the Saints. The winner of that contest wins the division. If the Bucs lose today, we also have the Packers, Bears in the 425 slot. Checking out our Blitz pick records. I am still leading David by 1 game, so unless David wants to hold out another week and go off script in the playoffs, he is going to have to pick the Panthers today to catch up because I am obviously going with the Buccaneers. Now, I do not think this is going to be a blowout. I actually think the Panthers are going to cover that 5.5-point spread, but I do see Todd Bowles being uber aggressive defensively, sending a lot of blitzes. They should not be gashed by this offense, so I will go 17-13 Tampa Bay.
And I'm going with the Panthers. No logic. I just got to catch up. Why not? Chaos can be fun sometimes. That's all. That's it.
You got to do what you got to do. And
yeah,
that is the 3rd season of the Blitz in the books, at least for the regular season. We will be back next weekend, either to preview the playoffs or to break down the season that was and that terrible loss to Carolina. That is David Schiele. I am Evan Closky. This is the Blitz. Same time, same place, next weekend.